This set of drills is called the line-up. Now, there's 3 variations here, but in each instance you have the balls all set up down the centre line of the table, spread out as evenly as possible. So in this first variation, the balls are just placed randomly up and down the table, and you can put any ball in any order. So I like to start this routine by rolling the white up and down the table, just so that it gives me a random starting position for every time I do the drill, so you can get used to starting from a different position. And then basically work your way through potting all the balls. So the real aim of this is to get used to controlling the white ball. You know, all the balls are fairly easy to pot because they're in the middle of the table. So your aim is just trying to keep that white ball away from getting stuck in the line so that you can't pot a ball, and away from the cushions if possible. Keep it nicely in the middle of the table. So you're just going through a series of little topspin, run through or screw back shots just to keep that white as easy as possible for the next ball. So there's nothing too hard. You're not hitting the balls up and down the table or travelling too far. Just keep that ball under control. You can see here that I've got a little bit of space issue. It's a little bit tight on that side of the table, so I had to raise the butt of the cue up in the air, but generally you should try and keep that cue as low and flat to the table as possible. Now, I do this drill as part of my practice routine, and what I like to do is, if you miss a ball, then you start all over again, and I will keep doing the drill until you completed it all before I move on to the next one. It just keeps the drill competitive and makes you concentrate and focus on what you're doing, which is, you know, all part of the game, rather than just cheating yourself and saying, oh well, that should have gone in. You know, make yourself do it properly until it goes in, and then move on to the next drill. I've chosen here just to play the black last, but as I said, if you run out of position and it's easier to pot the black first, then you can do that. Not a very good shot there, rolled far too far up the table, but just drop the black nicely into the bottom corner to finish the drill. So, same as before, roll the ball up and down the table to give you a random starting position. Now, as you can see in this variation, put all of the yellows at one end and all of the reds at the other, and then the object is to pot all of the yellow balls first, and then all of the red balls, and then finish on the black. So this just focuses the drill a little bit more than before, in terms of keeping control of the white ball and keeping it down one end of the table while you clear those balls. Not travelling down to the other end if you can help it. It's quite a common thing in a game. You know, you'll work at one end of the table and put all of the balls at that end of the table before working your way down to the other end. So it's quite good practice for that sort of situation in a game. Exactly the same as before, just little screw backs, top spin, keeping that ball in the middle of the table so it's nice and easy to get onto the next ball. As before, if you miss a ball, then I'll start the drill all over again. So, you know, quite often I'll start with the last variation, then I'll do this one, and then the next one before moving on to the next drill. Another thing that's quite good to do to help with that competitive edge to it and to keep yourself focused on it, also to help you work out whether you're improving or not, is to write down your scores. So if you pot 3 balls before you miss one, then you write down your score as 3. Obviously, if you pot all 15, then your score's 15. But every time you do the drill, maybe do it 10 times, write it down and keep track of that score, and then you can see over the weeks whether you're actually improving. And again, don't cheat. No, be honest with yourself, otherwise it doesn't really tell you whether you've improved or not. But hopefully the more and more you do this, and if you keep focused on it, then your score will go up and you'll start to see an improvement in your game. With this one, then you should really do the black last, because, you know, it helps you focus on doing that as the last ball. So, you know, make sure when you're playing your last ball that you're in a decent position to get the white ball back for the black as easy as possible. In this instance, just a little stun across to the middle of the table, so you're straight on the black, a little bit close to the middle pocket, but nice and easy to drop that black across the table into the middle pocket. So if you're finding the previous two variations a little bit too easy, then this is a little bit harder. The idea here is you get your random starting position, and then depending on where you finish, you choose a colour. In this instance it's the reds, and then you put all of the red balls before moving on to the yellow balls. So this is that little bit more difficult because you need to be a bit more precise with your position. You know, you can't just hit it and hope to be on the next ball, because you've got to go for a specific ball. You can see there I've just finished a little bit short on this one, so it's going to be a nice little gentle screw back just to drop this in, make sure that you pull back to get on these last three reds. And as this drill goes on, the fewer reds you've got on the table, the harder it is, because you've got to be on a specific ball before you can move on to the yellows. So you have to really take care on those last couple of balls to make sure you're in a decent position. Once you then have cleared the reds, it's a little bit easier again, because you then got all the choice of the yellows. So just sort of talk through these last few shots. So just roll down into the cushion here and back up for the middle two balls. And then probably just stun this one to leave me shot to the middle. Now I've gone a little bit too high there, so rather than play that to the middle and end up at the wrong end of the table, I'll go for the balls at the top of the table. You can always change your choice if you don't end up exactly where you'd like to be. Now the balls at the top of the line are quite often the hardest to get in, and I finished a little bit straight on this one, so play this with lots of topspin, a little bit of right hand side just to push the white into the cushion, and then back down for the middle. And then fairly simple, just drop this straight into the middle and leave ourselves a nice fairly straight shot on the black up to the top corner, and then just roll that in.